Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about what it looks like when a general contractor comes into Part 3. Part 3 is a collaborative tool for the entire team during construction. One thing that I want to point out up front before you dive into this video is that we are not asking you to duplicate your workflow. That is not what the focus is. We want to streamline it so that you get answers quicker from the consultant team and nothing gets lost in anyone's inbox. We don't want those back and forth emails. Part 3 is here to make the entire process collaborative. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough from the platform from what it looks like for you. We're going to talk about different tasks, how you can create submittals and RFIs, what it would look like if you connected it to Procore, instructions and change documents, signing documents if you're required. So for example, if your signature is needed on a change order, all of that can happen right in Part 3, and how to submit quotes and pay applications to your consultant team for review. When you come into Part 3, everything is organized for you by project. If you have multiple projects in Part 3, we separate all of those tasks for you. You can always sort and filter any of the documents to find exactly what you're looking for very quickly. If your prime consultant has drawings enabled on their project, you will always see the latest version of your drawings and you'll be able to download them at any time. Your prime consultant can also upload their specifications. So the specs and the drawings will always have the latest versions, and you can look at those anytime while you're on site or when you're in the app. In this video, I'll show you how to create submittals and RFIs, what you'll receive when the consultant reviews are finished, and how to submit any revisions or ask for more information. And if your project's connected to Procore, after the initial connection, everything stays the same for you in Procore. You can go about your day, submittals and RFIs, and only come into Part 3 if other workflows are applicable to you. If your prime consultant asks for your signature on a document, as I mentioned with change orders, Part 3 is the place where you can come in and add your signature, and you'll receive a task. Quotations and pay applications, you can upload those directly for consultant reviews. All of it is tracked in Part 3. If a revision is needed, I'll show you how to resubmit that. But ultimately, we want you to get those uploaded in Part 3 so the consultant and design team can review them and get back to you as soon as possible. The last thing that I want to mention, and I'll show you how at the end of this video, is that you'll never be stuck. We always have support for anyone in Part 3, not just the prime consultants or customers of Part 3. You can ask a question anytime, search our help docs, and a team member will always help you. So let's dive in. I'm going to show you what the platform actually looks like. When you log into Part 3, this is what you'll see for your landing page. You'll have a list of all of your projects here. And if you have a task, we will highlight that for you. I'll dive into my project here. I can see that I have a task. My prime consultant has asked me to sign a change order. So I could dive in here and review it and sign. But I'm going to walk you through a few other things first. On the team page on this left-hand side, this is where you'll see all of the different companies, consultants, and individuals on your project team. Under settings, if your project is connected to Procore, this is where you can come in and make that connection. In this question mark in the bottom right corner, if you search for connecting Part 3 in Procore, we have a step-by-step guide to walk you through that. As I mentioned, if the prime consultant has our drawing feature enabled, this is where you will see all of the drawings on the project. You can filter them, you can view them as a list or by a grid, and you can always download the latest set. From each of these, you'll be able to dive in and see if there's any different versions. So for example, when you click into a drawing, this is the original. If there were other drawings issued as part of a revision for a site instruction or an RFI, all of that is versioned here for you. The specifications, these are also uploaded by your prime consultant and will be visible in Part 3. Again, if there's versions, we will always show you the latest version. You can dive in and have a look at these anytime. And the way that Part 3 works is we always want to display the latest versions. So very helpful if you're on site or simply wanting to double check things. This logs area is where all of the different submittals, RFIs, and other documents will live. I'm going to show you right now how you can create a submittal. In the top right corner, click the plus sign and select submittal. All you're going to do is search the division code that you're uploading. We have a pre-populated list, but you can add your spec numbers if you want. Give it a title. This reference number area is if you use your own numbering system, you can enter that here. And that way, when you come into Part 3, you know exactly what you're looking for. We auto-populate the due date based on what the prime consultant entered as part of their contractual due date obligations. And then you can select who needs to assign things. This is something you can establish with your prime consultant. If they only want things assigned to them, this will be auto-selected for you, or you can add other assignees as well. As soon as you do that, all you have to do is drag and drop any of the attachments that you want your consultants to review. You can upload as many attachments as you want. And now it is with the consultants. Your job is done. All of these people here have received a task that they need to come in and review this. When you go back to the logs page, you will see this is with the consultants for review, and it's due in 11 days. When something is returned to you, you will see it has a color check mark on this left-hand side, and you'll always be able to see the status. You will get a final combined document that will have a cover page and any of the attachments that went back. You can see here that this one was marked revise and resubmit by the consultant. So the next time you want to come in and you have this revision, instead of creating a new submittal, all you're going to do is click revise. This is going to put it into R1, and then all you need to do is drag and drop the new version of the submittal that you have, and the review process can start again. So now I'm dragging and dropping this, and these assignees know that they've received a document for their review, and now it's back with the consultants. You can always view previous versions of your submittals if you need to jump between them. Next, I'll show you RFIs. So same concept, in the top right corner, click that plus button and select RFI. This is where you're going to give us that basic information about the RFI. I've given it a title. You can give a reference number if applicable. Again, we're auto-populating that due date. If you want to type out your question here, you could type it, but we also have an area where you can just drag and drop your attachment. So sometimes we find that people will have a formal RFI cover page. If you have a question, you could just enter that here. Again, we will auto-select the prime consultant, so people are receiving that notification that there's a task, but you could also assign other people to the review and then click create. You can see here, the consultants have received an email that they have a task, and then you're just dragging and dropping any of the documentation that you have as part of the RFI. So I will drag and drop this here. This is the RFI that I have. And again, you can upload as many documents as you want. Now it's with the consultants. If I go back to my RFI page, I can see that it's here and it's blue, which means that it's under review. If I have something that has a green check mark, that means that it's been returned. And I'm going to show you what it looks like for a revision. So if I click into this RFI, I can see that I have a revise button here. This can be used if you have additional questions or clarifications you need from the consultants. So for example, instead of creating a new RFI for the exact same topic, I could come in and click revise. I can pick who I want to notify. So maybe I want to ask my prime consultant, and I can let them know why I'm asking to revise this RFI and essentially reopening it. Then I would click request revision. Now I have 4.1. This is back with the consultants to review. And I can see here, they can revise it. I can also add additional attachments if I wanted to. Submittals and RFIs, again, just to mention, top right corner, click submittal or RFI, give us your basic information, and then drag and drop any of your attachments. The prime consultants will automatically be notified that you have uploaded a document for the review. When they are finished, you will receive a final document, and you can always see who this went to. If you're ever concerned that someone didn't receive the document, you'll have a very good indicator here of when it was sent and received. For quotations, you can also upload those into Part 3, and there's a few different ways that you could do that. Sometimes a quotation will be triggered by a change, which is either a proposed change or a contemplated change or a change directive. Let's say for this example here, I received the document from the prime consultant. This is the description. I have the cover page. I've had a chance to take it back to my internal team and our subcontractors and establish a price. So from this point, I'm going to click Price It because I want to connect it to this document. So I could say conduit relocation. I could give a description if I wanted to and let the prime consultant know if there's any schedule impact and then click Create. At this point, all you want to do is drag and drop any attachments that you have, which is normally any of your backup or your backup from your subcontractors. So I will drag and drop this quote here. The next thing we have is line items. This is where you have the opportunity to break out the additional costs, which typically makes it a little bit easier for your consultants to review. So for example, here, I'll say I have a drywall cost, the reason associated, and this is for architectural to review. Then I have conduit relocation. Same reason here, or you can select different ones, and this is for electrical. So now I'm nudging the electrical consultant in the right direction for what I need to review. So you can break this up as much or as little as you want to. If you wanted to leave it at one line item, that's up to you. You can add additional documents here, and you can see I have the individuals, and up here at the top, I'm going to send it to the consultants. We're automatically including the prime consultant, but now is the point where you can add other people. You could leave it as is, and your prime consultant can pick the reviewers, or if you know this is going to impact someone, you can submit it to them as well. So now it is with the prime consultants. They will either approve the document or ask you for revisions. All of that will live under this pricing area. If a quotation is locked, it's on a change order. If it's green, it's approved. And this one is under review. This example here is in a revision because there was a disagreement about the pricing and they wanted additional backup. So then that's how you would go through that same revision process. Pay applications look the same. If that's part of your workflow and scope with the prime consultant, you can upload your pay apps here. What you're going to do is enter the name, the payment start and end period, invoice number, which is your invoice number, and then drag and drop your pay app, which is normally one combined PDF. Once that's done, click Create. You can double check any of your documents here, add more attachments if you want, and then send it to the consultants for review. You can see here, those emails have been received by the consultant team. Your progress claim or your pay app has been submitted, and now the consultants will either accept or request changes from you. So those are the four main document types that you can create: a submittal and an RFI, which are the two most frequent document types, a quotation, which you can create from a proposed change or a change directive, or you could also create them organically. So let's say on your project, you came across some asbestos and you need to submit a cost for the abatement. You could go through that process organically without trying to create it from a different document. And then of course, you can upload your pay apps. One other thing I wanted to highlight here, as I mentioned before, you can review and sign documents. So this is a change order example where I need to sign off on the change order. So I'm going to click review and sign and jump right into that document. I can see the quotation that I submitted. This was the $8,000 that was approved. I can see this is the change order cover page with a breakdown of information. Your cover pages might look different, by the way. It really depends on how your consultant and your prime consultant have things set up in Part 3. And then at the bottom here, I can see I have a signature line. So I can start signing. This is my signature, and then I can click sign. So now my signature has gone onto the cover page with the date and time stamp. Your signature can be uploaded here in the top right under your account settings. So now I've completed my task, I've applied my signature, and now I don't have any more tasks. Across the log page, I just want to highlight one more thing is that if it is with the consultants, you will see that your review status is in blue for RFIs and submittals. You only see site instructions and change documents that are issued. If there is something that is being created by the consultant team that's in draft and has not been issued yet, you will not see it. You'll see pricing if it's submitted and under review, and if it was assigned or initiated by any other documents. And you'll see certificates, which is pay applications. So this is the progress claim that I currently have in for May. Across the top, you have an export button. You can export submittals and RFIs. We'll send you an Excel sheet with any of that information that you need. The next thing you'll see is this reports on the left-hand side. Under the reports tab, you will see all of the issued field reports that were generated by your consultants. You can get a breakdown of all of the different items, any attachments, and if they have tagged any pins on a plan, you will see that as well. And you can download that final version. So that is what Part 3 looks like from your perspective. We've gone through tasks and action items, submittals and RFIs, connecting Procore if it's applicable, instructions and change documents, how you can sign documents, and submitting quotations and pay apps. If you ever have any questions, please use this blue button in the bottom right corner. You can use our AI answers, search for help docs, or use this email option to send our support team a question. A real person will get back to you, and it's very helpful to ask a question from here because we can see what page you're on in the app. So please don't hesitate to reach out. If you have any questions for us or your prime consultant, please get in touch. We hope you enjoy working in Part 3 and can see that it is truly a collaborative environment meant to save everyone time and drive efficiency across the construction phase of the project.